So hello and welcome to the Happiness Telesummit. My name is Erica Glessing. I've set the summit this year at Activating Happiness. And my next guest is Tamra Oviatt. Welcome, Tamra.
Thank you. Good morning.
I know. I'm so joyful to have Tamra with me. She's the author of a beautiful new book called Sacred Activations. And she's been doing this kind of work for years and years. And she just came back from Egypt, which is kind of fascinating. And I'm curious, Tamra, if you want to why don't you just tell people a little bit about you to begin with and let us kind of get an insight into your brilliance.
How much time do I have? Well, my name's Tamra Oviatt, and I'm a healer and a trainer, and this wasn't my choice. It wasn't my thought. It wasn't anything I even believed in. I knew I could heal because at 18, I put my hands on my cat that was very sick, and I thought I was going to lose her, and said a prayer. And the next morning, I woke up and she was healed. That was at 18, and I thought that was kind of cool. Told my grandma, yet never shared it again with anybody else. And after my divorce in the middle 90s, I kept hearing Creator tell me, you're supposed to be a healer. This isn't what you're supposed to be doing. And I heard it over and 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 over again, because I'm not very good at listening, and I'm very, very good at arguing. As a matter of fact, when I was 18, I got in a motorcycle accident, and if I wasn't wearing a helmet, I'd be dead. And Creator over and over and over and over and over again told me not to get on the motorcycle, and I did, and it changed my life. So here I am, being successful, single mom, and I kept hearing, you're supposed to be a healer. So I finally said, okay, just don't kill me or my kids, and I'll do what you want me to do. And everything in my life kind of fell apart. And so I'm not going to go into all of that, but I started on this journey, and I started with hypnosis with an amazing guy called Kenny Rich in Marina Del Rey. And the hypnosis sessions, the guided meditations he took me on, I met Charlie, which is one of my spirit guides. But in Charlie always told me, I'm a bird, but I'm not a bird at all. And then like 5-6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, I heard Creator say, go see Kenny. So I went and saw Kenny again. And as soon as I went into this guided meditation, this bird Charlie showed up. I'm all, Charlie! I've got a drawing of him and stuff. I wish I had it with me right now so I could show it. And so he's all, come with me. So Charlie takes me up above the earth, and we're looking down on the earth, and the earth's like this little ball, and he's all, do you see that? I'm all, yeah. He's all, it's just a game, Tamra. It's just a game. Are you a winner or are you a loser? I'm like, I like winning at games. I'm a winner, And this has taken me these many years to unravel and really understand, because it really, really, truly is just a game. And that's part of my teaching, is how to win in the game and how to unplug from the game we don't like. And the games that we're playing that aren't making us happy, we can literally just unplug from those consciousnesses and plug into new consciousnesses of a game we prefer to play. And it was really cool because I always knew Charlie was a bird, but he wasn't a bird at all. And I met him in Egypt. When I stood next to Horus, I realized it was Charlie. So I have this amazing spirit, God of the sun, guiding me all these years. And it's really funny because in Spain in 2012, I was woken up in the middle of the night, and I was told that the sun is everything. Remember that. Write it down. The sun is everything. And I've really learned more and more about that, even through books where they, Anna, a grandmother to Jesus, I was reading this book. Somebody told me to read it. And it talks about when Jesus's father left, Jesus was in this meditation, and he saw him go into the sun. So I want you guys to just let that rattle around a little bit and think about that.
Thank you, Tamra. Tell me a little bit about the book and the journey that the book represents, and just kind of share with us a little bit about what people can expect.
Good question. I'm laughing because really the book mostly is channeled. A friend of mine was over from England. I did write another book called Learning to Listen to God. It's sitting somewhere edited on my computer. Haven't touched it, which I took 8 months through Europe writing. So this lady that was going to be promoting me and wanted to market me and publish my book and stuff, she says, you really need a book about the sacred activation. People don't want to know about your journey. So I went, okay. So I sat down with a friend of mine who was from London, who was visiting. He's all, let's do your book. So we actually did it on Google Hangout.
Oh my gosh.
We'd wake up in the morning, we'd have some coffee, go, okay, what's this chapter about? I would connect to source. I was told what the chapter was about, and we would record. And then maybe we would record another one. And 13 or 14 of the chapters are these conversations with my friend Vincent. And it's really just mostly what I've experienced, what I've learned, and a lot of it is just channeled information. And the same thing in the book. And then it goes into a practitioner training, which is also transcribed from a live training. So there's a lot of information also in there, which also teaches you how to do this work that I do that's called sacred activations, so that you can also do this with yourself. To help you clear hundreds and thousands of belief systems and clear out of collective consciousness.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what a sacred activation is and the seventh plane? Why don't you just give us, let's just pretend the listener has never heard the term, and let's just what would we say?
Okay. Well, the seventh planes of existence, I learned this through theta healing. And they teach you how Mother Earth is the first plane. The second plane is the plants and the animals. The third plane is what we call humans, life, that energy. The fourth plane is heaven. The fifth plane is the masters. The sixth plane is the laws of the universe and the cosmic records. And the seventh plane is the creator of all that is, which is also on all levels. And it also teaches that there's many dimensions, but there's only seven planes. Because a lot of people say, well, I was on the 14th dimension. Okay, but you're still in the fifth plane, of existence. And so I use that technology when I'm doing the sacred activation, so people know they're connected to the creative source, the source of all that is. They're not connected with the angels or the master's energy. They're actually connected to the highest source. They can absolutely use and have assistance by the angels and the masters, but they're connected to that highest source energy. So that's the seventh plane in a very quick explanation. I'm sorry, what was the other question you asked me?
Oh, tell us what an activation is.
Okay, sacred activations. What it is it activates your sacred geometry. And the different activations, depending on what it is, will clear out all those belief systems around that subject. And some of this stuff happens instantly with the snap of a finger, and some of it takes a couple weeks to a couple months. But it keeps processing the belief systems so that you can get into the place where you're good with it. And I received the first sacred activation in the Roslin Chapel in Scotland, because Creator told me to go there, and I received this information, and that's where I met Lord Metatron, because I was told to go to the sixth plane. I met Lord Metatron. He helped me with this energy. And then I started finding out, because of what I was seeing, a friend of mine handed me a sacred geometry book, and I opened it up to the Tree of Life. And that's what I call the Moses codes, because Moses came and gave me this activation. And I was seeing these symbols being activated around people when I was doing this work. And so it does activate your sacred geometry, plus clears you out of many, 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 many belief systems. And what's really cool about it is it keeps working. It's not like something you have to listen to for 21 days standing on your head in a corner. It will continue to shift your energy after receiving it once. If you do want to quicken it, I do it, once a week or something for a couple weeks, couple months. And it just keeps shifting you. And sacred activations, the name of the sacred activations came when I was in Italy in 2012. I said, what do I call this? When Source was giving me all this information. And they told me, I was told, sacred activation. So I Googled it, and it was available, and I bought it. I didn't know there was something out there called, all these people are calling activations. I had no clue. I was never a researcher or following what other people did. I was a mom, and I just did what God told me to do, or creator or source or whatever you want to call this.
Mm. So why don't we make the link for people between stepping up into this space of connectivity with creator and happiness?
Well, truly, we are happiness. It's all the illusions in the video game that we're plugged into that keep us from being happy. You should be able to wake up in the morning with a smile on your face and a song in your heart. And if you're not doing that, then you're plugged into some illusions. And so that's how sacred activations will help you in a lot of ways, is to unplug from those different illusions.
Nice. Thank you. So,
Yeah.
I think we talked a little bit briefly. I let people go and mess with me sometimes if they choose. So, since it's my summit, so if you'd like, why don't you tell me? I think I talked to you. There's some drama with the ex. So, what kinds of things would I bring to that to shatter those illusions?
You're angry at your own heart. You have anger towards yourself in this whole thing. And you actually feel like you failed in the marriage, and you're blaming that on him. Does that make sense? That's what just came to me. So we got to clear you of the self-blame in this,
Okay.
and teach you that, everything is just a learning, and to release. We're gonna do original light language activation with you. And the original light language will allow you to stay out of other people's drama
Nice.
and be able to stand in your truth and speak your truth without being upset with what they're doing.
Cool.
Yeah, and I want to do some healing on your heart, because for some reason, you're feeling responsible for all of this, and you're taking on the responsibility of it. And so I want to clear that from you, so that you can be more relaxed, and definitely not going through life feeling guilty with raising your children, that you're raising them on your own, or you divorced their father, and all that kind of stuff. I know I did that too with my kids. Well, not really, kind of. It was, just feeling a little guilty about the divorce thing, because I never believed in divorce. But I learned to believe in it really quick.
Exactly.
And, and we're good friends now. Him and his wife were just up for Thanksgiving. So I'd like you for us to clear this, so that you can really be in your power when you're talking to him, without shrinking or getting upset or anything else, okay? So would you mind if I share an activation with everybody?
That'd be perfect.
Okay, good. And while we're doing this, you can also think about your relationship in all of this and how you're feeling about it yourself. This is called the original light language. You might see a lot of angels around you while this is happening. Just keep allowing that energy. I feel like your ex-husband was really trying to keep you down and keep you contained.
Yeah.
And I see this light in your heart that really wants to shine and really wants to come out and be seen and be of service. But I feel like it's like this. What I see is this light, and it's like this solid thing around it. So I want to clear that off so it can go.
Yeah, let's do that. Thank you.
Okay. And
And
anybody else
I'm
had
gonna
this
trust.
feeling?
Yeah, I'm gonna trust that listeners are going to be feeling this, like they want to expand, they want to be more joyful, they want to feel more and be more, and that they've let things. I'm just gonna trust that people are listening for whom this will be, something really helpful.
Yeah, and a nice heart healing for anybody that's listening. If you feel like you're being contained and you're not able to come out like this, I don't have a name for this. It's not the Christ consciousness. It's not, and I have all these heart healing activations. This is different. So I'm going to do that now with you, okay? So everybody, this is something that has never been offered before. And if you would like, in your mind's eye, you might see this being unzipped or cracked or whatever, but that outer shield that is holding in all your joy and your excitement and your wanting to be out there, whatever's holding you back from that is now being released. Good. How you doing? Now, if you feel a little spacey after this work, make sure you connect into Mother Earth.
Okay.
And you can pretend you can put your feet in the sand or the soil or the water, or you can even, if you can imagine, going into Mother Earth's heart chakra and just sitting there for a few moments and just feeling that love and that acceptance go through every single cell of your body.
Thank you, Tamra.
You're welcome. Creator keeps telling me that I haven't really talked about the chapters of the book. Do you mind if I go into that a little bit?
Oh, yes, please do.
And I think there's been some controversy over this already. The first chapter is about walk-ins. And walk-ins are here to serve us and to help us. And so the first chapter is about walk-ins, and it's funny because I've been getting contacted from different walk-ins and stuff, and a lot of walk-ins feel guilty for being walk-ins, but that was an agreement in between them and the other soul. So we talk about that, and then we go into addictions. And God, I don't remember, but we also go into past life, future lives in the Matrix, where I really talk about how many people can have the same past life memories.
Right.
And
That was fascinating.
that they could be plugged into. Yeah, it blew me away. That they could be plugged into this collective consciousness of carrying that energy of that past life. And that there could be thousands of people on the planet at the same time carrying that energy of that past life and healing different aspects of it. So it's super interesting. So when you hear someone that's, carrying certain energies, yeah, or have had that past life, and different people that have also had that past life or claim they have, maybe they both have. Maybe there's thousands of people who are also plugged into that energy because they're bringing that energy forth to heal it and to bring the power of that energy back on the planet. It's very interesting. And it's funny, when I was writing that chapter, I was in Glastonbury, England. It was the last chapter of the book. And I was getting all this revelation. I was getting all this information. It's like, wow, okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, I got it. Just getting all this massive download. And then this electrical storm breaks out and knocks out the power in the house.
Oh my goodness.
And so I go to bed. I didn't know the power was out. And the next morning, the landlord calls me and she's all, do you have electricity? I flip on a switch. No. So to find out that it knocked out the transformer. And then
Wow.
I know. And then I went and did some traveling, and then I came back and I was staying at their other house because they rent out these little houses. And I love these people. They're just amazing. So I was staying at this other house across the street, and I was having this other revelation. This huge stuff was coming in. This storm comes in, lightning. I leave. I go somewhere else again because I was in Europe. I was traveling. And then I came back again. And then she told me that the electricity knocked out the transformer of that house that I was in. So I said, how many times has this happened? She's all, twice. So both houses I was in got hit by lightning and knocked out the transformers of the house.
About that visit you were going to do, that guest visit. No. I've been on hold for a little while.
I know. I don't know if it was that I wasn't grounded enough, but I was getting so much information. It's pretty wild.
I know, right? That is so amazing.
I mean, one house, okay, fine, but two?
Yeah.
Both of them I was in?
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Practitioner and what that means, and what people could do if they're interested in becoming more into this work.
Well, the book will teach you how to work on yourself, and there's golden seals that you receive in order to do this work that are activated, and you can see them coming in and stuff. And then there's another level of these seals if you want to work on other people. But the book will give you a link where you can work on yourself, and it'll give you these seals in order to do this. And you can go through the activations and read them and read about them and then do them. And then if you want to become a practitioner, I also offer that training where you want to work on other people. And there's links on the website where you can download the training and start right away. And then you can join in a live class anytime you want. And I have a lot of practitioners that redo the class. And to redo the class, it's free. And I'm thrilled that they're coming back. Even my first practitioner I ever certified in September 2012, she was on the practitioner training this last weekend. I'm in the middle of master training right now. So it's more and more down the rabbit hole, the deeper into these trainings we go.
So tell me a little bit more. I want to have you just share. I feel like even though you talked about it, I feel like there was something more on seeing this more as a game, or the view of the big view, looking down on the earth of your life. And when you talked about unplugging from collective consciousness, because I really feel like if we're looking at Happiness Telesummit, and this is a send out from Happiness, that right in there felt really powerful. So why don't you share a little bit more of that gift you're sharing on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been reading about the collective consciousness for years. From Greg Braden, talking about how you take the square root of 1% of a town and do a meditation, and the crime rate and stuff drops by 70%. And that these places that war is about to break out, all these people get together and they meditate in peace, and then the war settles or whatever. And then the 100th monkey syndrome, where these monkeys on this island start squashing a sweet potato. The next thing you know, that whole island and the island next to it's squashing their sweet potatoes. It's a learned consciousness. It's a collective consciousness. And I've been aware of it. But when I started doing these activations, really in 2012 is when I first saw the collective consciousness. And it was with the activation called Heaven on Earth. And Creator, well, I asked Creator what the 11th activation was going to be, and he said, "You're living in hell." I said, "Well, that's nothing I want." And so later on, he's all, "Would you like to be disconnected from this?" I'm all, "Yes, please." And I'm by myself in Italy for the first time in my life. I'm all alone in a strange country, in a house by myself, with nobody that even speaks English. It was such a great time for me. And so when I said yes, please, what I saw was me actually being disconnected out of, it looked like a grid or a fishing wire or whatever, but I saw myself being unplugged from this. And I saw like these chains and stuff coming off of me. I know that sounds really woo-woo. But if you look at childhood photos of me, you can always see mass sadness in my eyes. And when I'd have massages, I would, in the center of my back and your heart chakra in the back, it was always so painful. I would never let my massage therapist touch me there. They had to go around it. And I'm not kidding. And after this activation, and what I saw was that I was plugged into carrying the karma for everybody that was killed before me, for the suffering on the planet, and for wars and the murders. And I was carrying all that energy and that karma for the planet. And when I was disconnected from this, that energy went away. That pain in my heart chakra went away. And I'm sure you can look in my eyes and you're not seeing a sad person anymore. When I came home for that trip and I saw this picture of me as this little girl hanging on my sister's wall with her and my brother, and I looked at me, I started crying because I had looked so sad. It's like, wow. My sister said, you always looked like that, Tamara. You were always so sad. And I looked back at it and I realized I was sad. I mean, I was quiet, I was a sweet little girl, but I had this sadness in my eyes. And that's gone, and that pain in my back's gone. It's completely gone. And it really shifted me a lot, and that was one activation. That's when I started learning about the collective consciousness more within the sacred activations. And then Creator started teaching me that a lot of us are plugged into these belief systems. So let me explain how Creator explained it to me. Say the collective consciousness of pain and suffering on this planet is the size of one of those big watermelons. I can't show you inside the window because it's just, too big. Remember the old watermelons used to grow 20 pounds? And then if you were to look at, say, the energy of happiness would be the size of a blueberry. So the people that are actually plugged into that collective consciousness of happiness, that they're happy all the time, or that collective consciousness of abundance and source flowing energy. It's very, very small, or unconditional love. They're very, very, very small because there's not that many people plugged into them. Like if we jump over to money right now, look at all the people that are in suffering and look at all the people that are in wealth, right? But that energy's available to all of us. We just have to learn how to plug into it. And with the sacred activations, you learn how to plug into that. And you also learn how to unplug from the collective consciousness that we don't want to be in. And the pain and suffering energy is so huge. So many people are plugged into it and they don't even know it. They don't even realize it. And you can work on yourself for years and years and years and years, go through all your past lives, go through all your genetics, and still things you haven't cleared. But when you pull them out of the collective consciousness, then that totally, completely shifts, and you're playing a new game.
I love it. Well, we actually have an offer from Tamra, so it's listed right here on the page that you're listening to this recording right now. So go and connect with her deeper and learn more from Tamra. Enjoy her book. It'll be available on Amazon any day, and it's available right now for download as well on her website. So go nourish yourself. Is there a final thing you want to share with our listeners today as you're taking them out of the summit?
Oh, yeah. I've got about another 20 minutes worth, and I'll start now. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I can keep going.
Is your summit, Tamra. You can just knock yourself out.
My whole thing, you guys, is world peace. And I believe how we get there is to heal our hearts. And I believe that sacred activations will really help you do that on such a profound level. And I want to thank you so much for taking your time to listen to us. And I appreciate that. And I have much love for you. You are my brothers and sisters. You're really a reflection of me. So love yourself. And thank you.
Thank you so much.